His presence dearly.
The 24th of January 1937, Volume 34. The divine will, for one who lives in it, forms the repeater of its life and of its love, and it forms and extends in her the whole of creation and everything that Jesus did, how it will give her a new name, calling her my fiat. I am at the mercy of the supreme fiat that always wants to give me of its, in order to keep me occupied, to always have something to do together with my poor soul. And if it perceives some little void that is not its will, with an admirable and inimitable activity, it sees what is lacking in me of all its acts that it has done for love of creatures, and all in feast it seals it in my soul, giving me a tiny lesson. I was surprised, and my always lovable Jesus, visiting his little daughter, told me, "My good daughter, do not marvel. The love of my volition is exuberant, but with highest wisdom, because it wants to do, for one who lives in its volition, works worthy of it, the little repeaters of its life, of its love, and to hide in them the sanctity and the multiplicity of its works. It wants to continue its creative work. It wants to form, to repeat, and to extend the whole creation, and even more in one who lives in its volition. Listen to where its love reaches. My fiat created the creation, and for each created thing it places a value, a love, and a distinct office, since it must produce a distinct good for the creatures, so much so that the sky possesses one value, one love, and one office all its own. The sun, the wind, the sea possess another, and they do distinct offices, and the same for all created things. Now listen to what my will does for one who lives in it. Everything that it does is hers. Therefore, in one act, it encloses the value, the love, and the office that the sky does, and it gives to the creature the love and the value of the sky. In another act, it pronounces its fiat and encloses there the value, the love that it had in creating the sun, and it lets her do the office of sun. In another, it encloses there the value of the wind, its ruling love, and pronouncing its fiat, it lets her do the office of wind. In another, it encloses there the value of the sea, and pronouncing its fiat, it lets her do the office of the sea, and gives her the virtue of always murmuring, love, love, love. In some there is no act that she does that it does not delight in producing its fiat, and there it encloses the value of the air, there the sweet song of the birds, the bleating of the lambs, there the beauty of the flowers. And if the acts of the creature do not arrive at extending the work of creation, it makes use of the heartbeat, of the breath, of the rapidity as the blood circulates in her veins. It animates everything with its fiat and forms there the complete creation. And when it has completed everything of all that it has done in creation for love of creatures, it extends its domain there, and with its creative strength it conserves everything. It maintains the order of the new creation that it has formed in the acts of the creature, and it feels so very loved and glorified, because it does not find creation without reason, without will, and without life, but it finds the strength of a reason, of a will and life, that voluntarily has undergone in her acts the power of its fiat, its creative virtue, its divine life itself, its ruling and untiring love. In a word, she has let it do with her what it wanted, even with her breath and with her acts. My blessed daughter, continue to listen to me. Let me pour out my love. I cannot contain it any more. I want to tell you where my love reaches, and where it can reach and can do for one who lives in my fiat. Do you believe that my volition has been content? It has said enough, because it has enclosed the value, the love, and the different offices of the whole creation in the creature who lives as in harmony with it, with one single will? No, no. You must know that I came on earth, and in the ardour of my love I offered my life, my sufferings, and my very death, in order to repurchase my divine will for the benefit of creatures who with so much ingratitude had rejected and therefore lost it. In fact, my life served as disbursement of the price that was needed in order to reacquire it and give it into the possession of my children. Therefore there was needed a God in order to be able to have sufficient value to be able to purchase a divine will. See then how it is certain that the kingdom of my volition will come, because the purchase was made by me. Now my will, after having formed the order of creation, with all the sumptuousness and sublimity of its creative work, as the creature goes repeating her acts, in one act it pronounces its fiat and forms there my life, and it encloses its value. In another act it pronounces its fiat and encloses in her sufferings the value of my sufferings. It pronounces its fiat over her tears and places there the value of mine. Its fiat follows in her works, in her steps, in her heartbeat, and it encloses there the value of my works, of my steps, and of my love. There is no prayer or even natural acts that she does that it does not enclose the value of my acts. In fact, in one who lives in my divine will, I feel myself repeat my life, and it doubles the value in order to purchase my divine will for the benefit of the human generations. One can say that there is a contest between me and her for who wants to give more in order to make that my will would be possessed again by the human family. But this is not yet everything. If it does not do complete works, it is not complete. It is not content. To the value of the creation and redemption that it has enclosed in the soul, there it adds with an incredible love. There it encloses the celestial fatherland and makes resound its glory, its joys, the eternal beatitudes, as seal and confirmation of the creative and redemptive work that it has formed in her. After this, in order to be more secure, it creates there its heartbeat, its breath. It makes its life, its light, circulate more than blood, and as triumphant, it gives her a new name, calling her my fiat. This name is the most beautiful name that will make all of heaven smile and all of hell tremble. Name that I cannot give except to one who lives in my volition and has let me do in her what I want. My daughter, what can my omnipotent fiat not do and give? It arrives at so much that it gives her rights over its own power, over its love, over its justice. It incorporates the will of the creature with itself, and it tells her, be attentive. I do not want anything else from you than that you do what I do. Therefore it is necessary that you are always together with me, and I with you. End of the reading. The 24th of January 1938, volume 35. How our Lord left for heaven, remaining on earth in the tabernacles to accomplish how our Lord left for heaven, remaining on earth in the tabernacles to accomplish the kingdom of the divine will. One who lives in the divine will can say with Jesus, I leave and I stay. My flight in the divine volition continues. While I was visiting Jesus in the sacrament, I wanted to embrace all the tabernacles and each sacramental host in order to live together with my prisoner Jesus. And I was thinking to myself, what a sacrifice, what a long imprisonment. Not of days, but of centuries. Poor Jesus, could he at least be repaid for this? And my beloved Jesus, visiting my little soul, all immersed in his flames of love, said to me, My good daughter, my first prison was love. It imprisoned me so much that I did not even have the freedom to breathe, to palpitate, or to work if these two were not imprisoned in my love. Therefore my love imprisoned me inside the tabernacle, but with reason, with highest divine wisdom. Now you must know that the chains of my love made me depart from heaven during my incarnation. I left to descend upon earth in search of my children and my brothers and sisters, in order to form for them with my love so many prisons of love as to make it impossible for them to leave. But while I left, I also remained in heaven, since my love, being my prison, bound me within the celestial regions. Now, having completed my office down here, I left for heaven, remaining imprisoned inside each sacramental host. Do you know why? Because my love, being my sweet imprisonment, told me, the purpose for which you descended from heaven to earth is not accomplished. Where is the kingdom of our will? It does not exist, neither is it known. So remain there as a prisoner in each sacramental host. In this way, there will not be only one Jesus as in your humanity, but a Jesus for each sacramental host that will exist. In a fury of love, your many lies will make way to the divinity, as well as in each heart that will receive you. These lies will have a little word to say to make our will known, because when they descend into each heart, they will not be mute, but speaking. And you will speak about our fiat in the secret of our hearts. You will be the bearer of our kingdom. I recognized the demands of my love as just, so I remained willingly on earth, in order to form the kingdom of my will, until the complete fulfillment of the work. You see, by departing for heaven while remaining on earth, my life, spread in many sacramental hosts, will not be useless down here. I will certainly form the kingdom of my will. I would have never stayed if I knew I wasn't going to obtain the intent. More so since this is for me a sacrifice greater than my very mortal life. How many secret tears, how many bitter sighs, in the midst of many devouring flames of love. I would like to devour all souls inside my love, to make those who are going to live in my divine volition rise again to new life. This kingdom will come from the centre of my love. It will burn the evils of the earth, relying upon itself and arming its omnipotence. So, victory after victory, it will win our reign in the midst of the creatures to give it to them. But I was not satisfied to remain prisoner by myself. My love, flaring up even more, made me choose you, to make you prisoner with chains so strong as to be impossible for you to escape me. This as an outpouring of my love, and for company in my imprisonment, to be able to talk to you as extensively about my will, its anxiety, its sighs for desire to reign, and also as a pretext of my love, to be able to say before the Supreme Majesty, a creature of the human race is already our prisoner. We speak with her about our will, to make it known, and so that we will have our kingdom by right. I can say that each of my sacramental lives is also a deposit that I give you, sufficient to secure my kingdom for my children. But to these many deposits, my love wanted to add the deposit of a simple creature who carries the marks of my imprisonment, so as to strengthen the bonds between the creature and the Creator, and therefore accomplish and complete the kingdom of our will in the midst of the creatures. My prayers from each tabernacle are incessant, so that the creatures may know my will and may let it reign, and all I suffer, tears and sighs, I send to heaven, in order to move the divinity to concede a grace so great. I send it to every heart to move them to compassion for my tears and sufferings, to make them surrender to receive such a great good. Jesus remained silent. I was thinking to myself. By making himself a prisoner, my dear Jesus did an act of heroism so great, only a God could do it. But while he is prisoner, he is also free, more so since he is free in heaven, where he enjoys the fullness of his freedom. Not only this, but even on earth, how many times does he not come to me without his sacramental veils? But having imprisoned my poor existence, he's really done it this time. He knows in what a narrow prison he's put me, and how hard my chains are, and I cannot be like him, who while being a prisoner is also free. My prison is continuous. But as I was thinking this, he continued, saying, My daughter, poor daughter of mine, you were given my own destiny. When my love wants to do good, it does not hold anything back, neither sacrifices nor pains. It almost seems as if it doesn't want to hear about anything else. Its whole purpose is to make the good it wants arise. So certainly I had to do this. This was not about any random good, but about a kingdom of the divine will, to be established on earth. This good will be so great that no other good can be compared to it. All other goods will be like many little drops before the sea, like little sparks before the sun. Therefore don't be surprised if I have really done it this time, as you say. Your continuous imprisonment was necessary to my love, to keep me company and to let me speak about the knowledge of my will, which is so important to me, which I felt the need to make known. You must know that as I speak to you about it, my love repays you and frees you from the shackles of your human will, setting you free in the fields and dominions of the kingdom of my will. All the knowledge is directed to this, to unchain the creature from her will, from her passions, and from her miseries. Therefore thank me for what I have made of you. My love will know how to repay you, and will take into account every single breath of yours, and every instant of your imprisonment. After this I continued to think about the prodigies of the divine volition, and my beloved Jesus added, Daughter of my will, as your Jesus said, in descending from heaven to earth, I leave and I stay. When he ascended into heaven, he said, I stay and I leave. My word repeats upon descending as sacrament in the creatures. I leave and I remain in the tabernacles. In the same way, the creature who lives in my will can repeat my word in all her acts. As soon as she begins her act, her Jesus is formed in that act. My life has the virtue of multiplying itself to infinity as many times as I want. Therefore, in all truth she can say, I leave and I stay. I leave for heaven to beatify it, to reach my home and to make known to everyone my dear Jesus, whom I enclosed in my act, so that all may enjoy him and love him. I stay on earth as my life, support and defence for all my brothers and sisters. How beautiful one act in my will. End of the reading. There are no more readings today. Have a blessed day.